So starting with the chapter called working capital management, first of all we'll have the discussion about the learning points that say we have say in this chapter. Everybody is requested to pay attention. Starting with the chapter called working capital management. Dear students, I want you to visualize something like this. Let us say that this is a balance sheet that we have. Here are the assets and here are the liabilities. Liabilities, assets. In assets we have like the fixed asset, then trade investment. The term trade investment stands for the investment made out of necessity of the business. Then we have the current assets. On the liability side, we have like the net worth. Then we have debt funds. Then we have current liabilities and provisions. This is what usually we have. If at all I transfer the current liabilities and the provision on the asset side, then instead of current assets, we will have the working capital. So basically there are three investments that we have. The first is a fixed asset, second is investment, and third is working capital. And whatever the investment that we make in the business is financed by different sources of the finance. That includes the equity, reserves, preferential capital, debentures, and so on. Now, we understand that say being finance manager, we have to make an estimation that what amount of the fixed asset would be required in the business. It includes land, it includes building, it includes plant, machinery, vehicle, furniture, fixtures, and so on. Out of necessity of the business, what amount of the trade investment is required to be made is say, going to be calculated by us. And lastly, we are going to make the computation that what amount of the working capital that we are going to invest. Whatever the investment that say we are going to make in the business, based on that, we are going to raise the financing. So the learning point of this chapter is, listen carefully, point of this chapter is, what is the amount of the working capital investment that we have to make. The simple learning point that say we are going to have is, what is the amount of the working capital investment that we are going to make. Usually, of course not it is like that always, but usually we are provided with a manufacturing company information. And with that, we are required to make the calculation of the working capital investment. We will be provided with a set of the information based on which we'll compute the current assets, based on which we'll compute the current liabilities, and difference of both of them will be working capital. This is what we are going to do.